Yesterday we were on a panel together. We talked about the cost of living. You're on a panel today talking about fiscal, of course, and you seem a bit more optimistic than maybe a couple of months ago. So overall, are you leaning towards better forecast for the world economy this year?
So Francine, first of all, it's a pleasure to join you. In terms of the overall forecast, we will have this out at the end of January, but it will be in the ballpark of what we put out in October. So I think the positive way to think about it is, after going through about 3 rounds of downgrades, at least we don't have a worse outcome that we're looking at this time around. The positive news is that while we have global growth for the bottoming out this year, it improves towards the second half of this year and then into 2024. And that's because we're seeing signs of resilience. We have China that's ripped off its zero COVID policy. So we're going to see some improvement towards the end of the year, but again, this is still a tough year.
It is a tough year, but do you think inflation has peaked? And if inflation's peaked, does it make it again much easier from the second half? Is that the main thing that would make a difference?
Our expectation is that headline inflation has peaked, but when it comes to the more sticky components of inflation, which is inflation, services sector inflation, there are countries where that's still trending up. In the US, we're seeing signs of it slowing, but we're going to have to wait for a few more months of the kind of good data that we saw, for instance, come out of the US to start thinking that, okay, now we're truly on the path towards the 2% target. I think monetary policy will have to stay the course through 2023.
Gita, how are you expecting the China reopening to go ahead? So today we also have Janet Yellen, Treasury Secretary, meeting with the Vice Premier of China in Zurich. Are you expecting a rapprochement between the two, and does that help with the world economy?
I mean, firstly, we have a China reopening, which literally means that they're going to travel to different parts of the world after being shut out for a couple of years. So that, with the increase in mobility, we expect to see China's growth recover later this year. And also that has positive spillovers for the rest of the world. We're certainly seeing more engagement between the US and China. I think one important meeting was what happened at the Leader Summit in Bali in November between President Biden and President Xi Jinping. That was a positive sign. The idea was to put a floor on their relationship. And I think these meetings are critical. I mean, these are the 2 largest economies of the world. It's important for the rest of the world that they work closely together.
How worried are you about the US debt ceiling?
It really should not be something we are even second guessing at this point, right? The US has the highest investment grade rating in the world. There's already enough uncertainty. There are enough risks that we have to deal with. This should not be an additional risk that the US or the world should have to deal with.
But is it? I feel like a lot of the chatter here in Davos and elsewhere is that actually we could see a debt ceiling. It could be difficult to get through it, and we could even see a US being downgraded.
There is certainly a risk to it. I mean, there is certainly, given the dynamics that we have in the US Congress, there will certainly be some tensions around it. But I really hope they just get the job done and do the right thing, which is move the debt ceiling, do what's needed to make sure that this is not in question.
Gita, I know you focus a lot of your energy on talking about fragmentation and actually, I guess, the pitfalls of that. Are we seeing a more fragmented world than we did even last year?
The world has been moving towards fragmentation, I would say, over the last few years. This started with the US-China trade tensions before the pandemic. Now you've had the pandemic and the war. Everybody's very concerned about economic security and national security. Those are good things. It's important for countries to build resilience, but we're also seeing that as kind of inshoring, which is bringing production back home. And that's, if we move in that direction, I think it's just going to be costly for both households and for firms everywhere.
We've seen quite a lot of volatility in the markets because of what the BOJ put or didn't put in place. Do you support those kind of moves?
So the Bank of Japan has a pretty complex decision to deal with. Unlike the other major economies of the world, yes, they have inflation going up, but the risk of inflation sliding back well below their target remains high. So they have to do this complex trade-off of keeping monetary policy accommodative while ensuring that it's consistent with the inflation data that's coming up. We have actually a mission in Japan right now on the ground. We're going to have a report coming out in Japan relatively soon in the near future.
And coming back to China, so there are a number of countries actually needing some relief in the common framework. Is China being more helpful, and does this give you hope that actually the world maybe will be less fragmented in coming quarters?
China being a part of the common framework is very important. Is very important for solving debt issues around the world. We had one success, and that was Chad. It got fully concluded with a memorandum of understanding in December. this is, by the way, a historic moment. This is for the first time we had Paris Club creditors, non-Paris Club creditors all come together, the private sector come together to agree on a debt restructuring. So that is a good outcome. But the common framework has been really slow. And we have other countries that need help. So we're really pushing all creditors, including China, to step up further and come up with faster solutions.
So there's Zambia and Ghana coming up.
Zambia
is that the test on whether China is committed?
I think it's a test for the common frameworks to see whether it can deliver.